Welcome back to Gold Derby. I'm Christopher Rosen. I'm joined by Joyce. Joyce, we're in the same shirts because we just did our Golden Globes predictions. Now we're going to do our SAG nominations predictions.
Still don't know where this is airing. The ceremony, that is? Not
Maybe
this episode.
on social media, perhaps. It has
Instagram Live, just like the nominations.
There's no broadcast home because David Zaslav and Warner Brothers Discovery have jettisoned
everything.
The SAG Awards and the Looney Tunes and a lot of different
Westworld.
I'm hurting my loins because I caught up on Gossip Girl, Joyce, which
your favorite. So give us an update, because last time we spoke about Gossip Girl, you were not feeling season 2.
Well, you know what? I'm feeling it. It effing rules. They brought Georgina Sparks back, so Michelle Trachtenberg is all up in there scheming away. Tavi Gevinson killing it as Kate, who's the Gossip Girl of the title. I just love it. It's great.
So what happened with, because last time you said you had seen 2 episodes and you were not feeling how they elevated the Blair of the show?
Yeah, they kind of just pushed that away too. She's like she's not involved as much anymore. They kind of we're just we'll just
send out to a room and she's just gonna stay there.
She's still part of it, but not as much. I'm loving it. They aired 6 episodes, a great show, but I was doing some recon earlier today looking for interviews about the season, because you know what does not get covered a lot is Gossip Girl. The media has turned its back on a show they once loved.
You know, the OG Gossip Girl, I used to recap that back in 2007.
It's hard to find people even writing about it now. The Vulture does a recap. There are some other sites, but I saw an interview with Josh Safran, who's the showrunner, and he was basically saying, if you like the show, better watch it, because we might not make it past the second season. There's 10 episodes.
Who knows what Zaz is going to do?
Zaz might be get the hell out of here. It's also a pretty expensive show to make because it looks quite good. They do the Succession production values, let's say, Joyce.
Well, they're in NYC.
Yeah. But we're not talking about Gossip Girl, though. Are you
going to predict it at the SAG Awards?
I might, but I won't. We're going to do our film and TV SAG Award predictions all in one episode. First up is film. If you're watching this and you want to hear about our TV takes, like Gossip Girl is good, skip ahead. But we're going to do film first, and film ensemble, Joyce. So we're doing nominations predictions. Here are my predictions, Joyce. I have Everything Everywhere All at Once, Top Gun Maverick, Glass Onion, The Woman King, and The Fabelmans.
I have the same.
Wow. Joyce. I don't
know why you're acting shocked, because you already knew this.
Well, I didn't know you would have. I figured you might have women talking, honestly, like a lot of people do.
Oh, no. I mean, we've talked about this before, that Woman King was going to get in. I
have The Fabelmans hanging on by a thread, though. And I just couldn't think of another movie to put in.
I've considered dropping so I previously had Elvis instead of Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, I was going to actually have Elvis instead of Fabelmans. So
then I considered dropping Fabelmans to get in Top Gun Maverick, but I just dropped Elvis for Top Gun Maverick.
Not incorrect. I mean, but I think if I was going to knock one out, I think I might knock out the Fabelmans. I'm just not sure if that ensemble will play, but I think it's a great ensemble, and it's pretty deep.
It is, and I think it's I think that they're all uniformly good. I know Michelle's performance is kind of divisive, but I think that's just, that kind of performance is really hard to do, because she is playing a real person, and that's what the real Steven Spielberg's mom was like.
Right.
And it's both highly stylized performance and also really intimate and vulnerable. And I think that's a really tricky thing to pull off. And she does it very well. And I understand why it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think they're all very, the whole cast are very good. Everyone's very good. And I don't know. I think one of the issues for the film in general, just the season, is that I don't know if any one of them is people's favorites.
Right.
But I think you're probably more likely to agree they're all good and maybe vote for it as an ensemble.
That's my thinking. And I also just think, again, what are you going to put in instead? I mean, Elvis,
I basically have that as my prestige, Oscar.
Right. I mean, Elvis maybe, though I don't actually think it's really an ensemble that the SAG.
It's really not. I mean, it's Austin and Tom Hanks and Olivia, really.
Right. And then Banshees is definitely, we've seen in the past, not the type of movie they consider an ensemble.
I'm really torn on Banshees, because I think it really hinges on if I'm going to predict Barry Keoghan too. Because if it gets 4 individual nominations, like no film has gotten 4 individual and missed ensemble. But films I've gotten 3 have missed ensemble.
Right. So maybe I should put it
So
in because I might have Barry in. I guess we'll see.
I know, like that was my other thing because I was like, I could also replace Fablemans and have Banshees as like the Oscar
I mean, maybe that makes sense, but
serious drama thing.
I guess we'll see.
But yeah, the other ones, like Everything Everywhere, is probably winning this.
Seems likely.
And then Glass Onion I have in, like, I'm not holding the first movie Knives Out's snub against it because that was the truncated Oscar season and no one like really foresaw what a hit Knives Out was going to be, and that opened theatrically over Thanksgiving. Obviously, like a shortened calendar, shortened voting period, and they got the screeners out late, Lionsgate. So I think if it had like another week or 2 of voting, it would have gotten into ensemble last time. But now it's on Netflix. It was in theaters for a week. People were anticipating it, and voting is still going on as of this recording. So
Netflix is a big reason why I put it on there. I think Netflix does a great job of getting its
and the SAG Awards
Yes.
love Netflix.
Yes.
It's their favorite streaming service.
Yes.
So
for film actress Joyce. Now we were hoping for some oddballs and curveballs, but this one I have pretty straightforward. And my predictions are Michelle Yeoh, Cate Blanchett, Michelle Williams, Viola Davis, and Danielle Deadwyler for Till.
I have that too. I'm not confident about Danielle, but it is a very, as we've said many times before, it's a very SAG friendly performance. So it's just a matter of the nom-com watching it.
I feel like they will. I still think
I think they will too. And the thing is, like the way the balloting works on SAG, it's not preferential like the Oscars. Like you don't need the most number ones, you just need to appear. So it doesn't matter what place. So as long as enough people in the nom-com saw it and put her down, I think. I mean, she really needs this nomination since
she does. I put her back in at the Oscars too, honestly.
Oh, you did? Who did you drop then?
I believe I dropped Margot. Let me look.
I
might have dropped Viola, actually. I think I dropped Viola.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Viola at the Oscars.
I dropped Viola for Margot. I mean, I dropped Viola for Danielle. I'm sorry.
I could see Margot getting in here too at SAG.
I could also, but I just was like, I think the Danielle performance just feels a little more saggy to me. I don't know.
It does. I think like people are like, Babylon's the more visible film, obviously. And I could see people anticipating it, or like the nom-com anticipating it and being excited to watch it. I mean, we were there, like at our screening, everyone around us was asking, or like a nom-com voter around me at least was asking, like, are you on the nom-com?
And they seemed into it. A lot of them did. A lot of the younger voters, and certainly the actors, I think, seemed into it. I could see Margot getting in, but I just think I'm going to stick with Danielle. I'm going to stick with the chalk.
I know. I'm just going to keep the chalk 5. I don't. I like with Ana de Armas, like Blonde is on Netflix, but I don't know if they'll go for her in that film.
Right.
And then I don't know who else, like Olivia Colman, I don't really see her happening here. I could see her happening at the Oscars.
I've seen pundits predicting her still for the Oscars. I think they're really banking on her.
I don't know. I mean,
British
she got
support.
in here last year for The Lost Daughter, which is not,
but in
like,
that
performance is not very, it's not very saggy, but like she was a top 5 favorite the whole time, you know.
Yep.
And it was on Netflix.
For best actor choice, I'm going to throw a curveball in here at the end. I'll just let you know that in advance. But my predictions are Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Tom Cruise for Top Gun Maverick, and Daniel Craig for Glass Onion?
I have the first 4 and Bill Nye. So I just basically have my Oscar lineup.
I think Bill Nye absolutely is getting an Oscar nomination. And there's not really a lot of other people here to get in for an actor.
That's my problem, because months ago I did not have Bill Nye in, because I was like, it's not like a very SAG friendly performance.
I think it's not a SAG performance or movie, and I don't know how many people in the SAG have actually seen it, and I'm not sure about any of this, but I know they've seen Glass Onion, and I know they like Daniel Craig. People love him in the movie. So
yeah, but my thing is, like, I'm just running out of options here.
Right.
So
No,
I feel like
true.
they could just go with him. And I would have thought of Ray Fiennes first before Daniel Craig, honestly.
Well, I went with the bigger movie. I also thought Adam Sandler for Hustle. I think he's doing a lot of SAG screenings, but it's not really popping, I would say.
I don't see him really getting in here.
I mean, the top 4.
He couldn't even get in for Uncut Gems, which
right. No, I agree.
His stronger film and performance.
But so. Netflix. Hustle is on Netflix.
But it's not like I
agree.
Yeah. Like the other thing is Hugh Jackman's in 6.
I mean, that's how, like, I think that also goes to like
I think also a lot of people have not updated
it. So Hugh Jackman is 6, Jeremy Pope is in 7th, Sandler is in 8th, Gabriel LaBelle in 9th, Diego Calva, Paul Mescal, Ray Fiennes, Daniel Craig, all after that. I mean, another person I could see is Adam Driver, but I just don't think actually that's a SAG movie, even though it's on Netflix. It just seems like White Noise is not.
I mean, they're not going to vote for everyone on Netflix.
Like, no, I know, but I know they've seen them.
Popularity still has to be.
But I know they've seen them. I'm just not sure that enough people have seen Living in this group. I absolutely think Bill Nye is getting an Oscar nomination. I think he'll show up all over the place, but I'm not sure he's going to get in here. I just could see it happening.
I would love to see Gabriel LaBelle in here, and this is his best chance of getting a high-profile nomination, because they're kinder to younger actors.
I can see it. I'm not against that either.
If Tom Cruise misses here to whoever, will that affect your Oscar predictions?
No, because I still don't know who I would put in. I mean, like, I don't know if Tom Cruise deserves an Oscar nomination for Top Gun Maverick, but I'm going to put him in because there's not a lot of options.
I mean, if he gets into SAG, I'll probably just keep him for the Oscars.
I think at this point, if there was somebody who would upset him at the Oscars, it would be Paul Mescal on like the back of being like a number 1 pick for a lot of people or a small amount of people.
I still just think that movie is just too small, and his performance is so not only subtle, but it's so remote, because so much of it is from Frankie Corio's perspective.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't disagree, but I just think like he's a type of an actor who I think would have a small amount of very passionate support.
He definitely has more passion, and I honestly, with like how much love that he's the internet's boyfriend basically, anyway.
I'm speaking for the Oscars, not for SAG. I don't think he's getting
I know, but I just mean like for in terms of his campaign for the Oscars,
right?
Because of the general love, maybe performative love for the film and his performance, I would have expected him to also be doing better with these various hundreds and dozens of critics groups who are all mostly going for Colin Farrell. I'm not angry about it because he was my favorite, but it's still like, I would have thought maybe Paul would have won a bit more too. So, and I think that would have helped, because remember, a lot of people were also predicting him for LA with their 2 winners.
I think I was maybe. For film supporting actress choice, here are my nominees: Angela Bassett for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Kerry Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin, Hong Chow for The Whale, and Janelle Monáe for Glass Onion.
I have Angela, Kerry, Jamie Lee Curtis, Stephanie Sue, and Janelle Monáe.
So I'm going with Hong. I'm going to go down with that ship because I just think people are watching that movie, like we said, and Brendan is in everywhere. And I think she's an easy coattail to me. And it's a great performance, even if the movie you're dicey on.
It is. I think I The problem with this category at SAG is I could see all these fringe contenders getting in here. Like they're pretty strong here. Like Stephanie, you know, who missed the Globe, but I know like Everything Everywhere will do well here. So I could see both her and Jamie Lee Curtis getting in. And then obviously, like we said, Glass Onion, Netflix, Janelle Monáe, a dual role. And I have Carrie because just, you know, Banshees is strong. And it is like, I think the actors of SAG-AFTRA, so SAG, like appreciates that performance, would appreciate it. Whereas like the after part, the more populist part, really would appreciate these other potential nominees more, like Angela Bassett. So I have Angela Bassett winning. I don't have her in at the Oscars. So I have another Emily Blunt situation here.
I have her winning too, and I actually did put her in at the Oscars. I think she's going all the way here. She's just going for it. And I think it's a influx enough category that there's no reason actually she wouldn't get nominated. Even though all the stuff I've said and agreed with you on, I'd still agree with. I'm just like throwing my hands up at this point. I just think she'll get in.
I think she can get in here because, you know, with like she just needs to appear on a lot of ballots, but I think she will probably struggle more at the Oscars because she'll need high rankings, like number 1s and 2s.
Right.
So, and I still don't know how many, if enough people will put her in number 1 for that performance.
I think they might, just because she's Angela Bassett. I don't think it might have anything to do with the performance. I think the performance is totally fine, but I think the fact that she's Angela Bassett, people will be like, yes, 1.
I think you would maybe, I don't know if you would put it, I mean, I know if that performance is not my favorite, I'm not going to put it in 1. Maybe if I do like her, maybe I'll just put her in there in like 5th or something, like whoever, because I think even if you like her, chances are you're going to have an actual favorite performance.
Right.
That's not hers. So
maybe
you're going to put that person at number 1, unless you're just completely apathetic about everyone. Like that needs to be the case for her to be number 1. But if you just like Angela Bassett and then your favorite is actually Jamie Lee Curtis, you're going to put Jamie Lee Curtis at number 1.
Maybe. I don't know. For film supporting actor, Joyce, I have I have a curveball or two here as well. I have Kiyu Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Brendan Gleeson for The Banshees of Inisherin, Eddie Redmayne for The Good Nurse in the Jared Leto Memorial spot at the SAG Awards. I have Tom Hanks for Elvis and Judd Hirsch for The Fabelmans.
I did something dumb too, potentially.
Great. Love it. Love it when it's dumb.
This is like totally a hope diction.
Yeah, do it.
I have Kiyu Kwan, oh my gosh, Brendan Gleeson, Paul Dano, Eddie Redmayne, and Brian Tyree Henry.
Nice. I think there's a very good case for Brian Tyree Henry here. I think he's an actor's actor, and I think you talk to a lot of actors, they would say like they love Brian Tyree Henry, but I'm just not sure if the after portion of this is going to be like, let's go pop in Causeway.
That's my problem, because it is so small, the movie. Yeah. And like he's gonna be a lone nominee. Right. Like this is not a Coda situation.
And he's a lone nominee. Eddie Redmayne would be a lone nominee too. But I think
but Eddie Redmayne is on Netflix, right, and he is
playing a serial killer. It's a Jared Leto performance.
It's a very subtle performance, but then he has a super baby scene at the end, just screaming "I can't" for 78 times.
Great. He's good in it. He's really good in it.
I mean, like I had him earmarked for a SAG nomination as soon as like we saw clips of that movie a year ago.
Still have Dano in there. I have Hirsch. We've talked about this a million times. I think they both get into Oscars, honestly, at this point. So I don't think it really matters. But I just think Hirsch will get in here because it's like a bigger performance. And Hanks for Elvis, Joyce. Let's go back to it. I'm going back to it.
I don't know. I mean, like I also obviously thought about Barry in here.
I did too. One of the reasons I thought about Barry was because I remember you sent me a tweet. Kumail Nanjiani was like, Barry Keoghan, best actor of the year.
Well, like, they're Eternals co-stars. So
I know they're Eternals co-stars. I know he's on the take, but I'm like, I don't know. I think people really do. The performance is amazing. Like I do think people really love him in it, and there's such.
I know, but then
passion for it.
if I put him in, I feel like I need to predict Banshees and ensemble.
Exactly, which is why I didn't do it. And I just think it's an easy one that he would drop off here, and then move on.
I mean, like last year, this category was super chaotic because it was
Bradley,
Troy, Ben Affleck, Bradley Cooper, Jared Leto, and Cody. So,
I mean, why not? Pretty fun.
And only two of them went on to get Oscar nominations. No Belfast, obviously.
Right. Next up, Joyce, we're going to the television side of things. Drama.
So Gossip Girl for
drama ensemble. Gossip Girl. I don't even know if I honestly don't even think you can predict it on our predictions. You can't. It's not even on there. Such a shame. So since I can't predict Gossip Girl, here are the 5. White Lotus, Sicily, Severance, House of the Dragon, The Crown, and Better Call Saul.
That is this. Did I open SAG or okay? It's like I thought I opened Globes. I have The Crown, Ozark, Better Call Saul, Severance, and The White Lotus, Sicily. This is very tough for me because I was like, I also want to do Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm. I want to do Stranger Things too. You didn't have House of the Dragon. That's our difference.
Yes.
I think House of the Dragon is, again, a hugely popular show. That
I know. Well, like I don't have, I mean, I could just drop Better Call Saul for it, really. Like I did. Right. I think I had it, and then I was trying to get rid of something.
I put Better Call Saul in. If I was going to drop it, I would drop it for Stranger Things and not Ozark. I don't think Ozark's going to make it, but maybe it will.
They like Ozark.
Yeah, I know.
They were the first ones in the tank for Ozark. And again, Netflix.
Right.
So I don't know. I might just leave. It's really White Lotus's fault. Because if it weren't for White Lotus, I would just have House of the Dragon in here.
That's right. It'd be very easy, but alas.
Like there's gonna be a notable snub no matter what.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think Better Call Saul to me looks like a snub potential.
It is, and I'm just like, obviously I'm in the tank for it, so I'm hope dicking it too.
Yeah, I'm leaving it there. I'm just gonna leave it there, but I would not be surprised if it doesn't make it.
I mean, what about Yellowstone?
I keep wanting to predict Yellowstone all the time, and it never gets in any of these places. So I'm just like, go F off, I guess. I mean, like, it's not getting in. I don't know.
It got in last year.
I know, but like, it never gets in really. Like, anytime I predict it, it doesn't get in. So
I mean, I do think it got in last year because it was weak last year.
Yeah.
In drama.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more packed this time, so I feel like it might drop off.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll just keep this for now. I have a week.
Next up, Joyce. TV drama actor. My nominees. I threw a curveball in here as well. I'm just gonna. I don't care. I'm just going for it. I'll get my 65% in the experts rankings. It's fine. Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul. Adam Scott for Severance. Jason Bateman for Ozark. Jeff Bridges for The Old Man, and Diego Luna for Andor.
You and Diego Luna.
Hell yeah.
So I have Jason Bateman, Bob Odenkirk, Adam Scott, Jonathan Pryce, and F. Murray Abraham.
Wow. Nice.
I don't know.
No Jeff Bridges. I thought you would have him in here, no doubt.
Really? Why?
Because he's like a classic actor's actor. I feel like SAG would love him.
He is, but I don't know if like SAG has seen that show.
Yeah, I guess, but it's been on for so. I think maybe they have, just because it's so old.
I mean, it is old, but yeah, I don't know. I just went with the more recent show, and I mean, at one point I had Dominic West in here, so
I took out Dominic West. I also thought of Patty Considine for House of the Dragon.
Yeah. I don't know about any of the House of Dragon actors. Like I can see them getting in, but I can also see them missing.
Yeah.
I also thought about Sterling K. Brown, former winner, but I don't know if people remember that This Is Us ended last year.
I don't think so.
So yeah. I don't know who else I would. Let's see. There's Kevin Costner. Yeah, or maybe another White Lotus guy. I don't know.
None of them really popped. I don't feel like.
Yeah, so that's why I just want like he's famous.
Right. No, I get it. For drama actress choice, my nominees are Zendaya for Euphoria, Imelda Staunton for The Crown, Laura Linney for Ozark, Elizabeth Debicki for The Crown, and Jennifer Coolidge for The White Lotus.
I need to somehow get Jennifer Coolidge in here, and I don't know how. So I basically just like a couple years ago, I just have The Crown, and Ozark, and then Zendaya. So I have Imelda, Elizabeth, Julia, Laura, and Zendaya.
I kept Julia out because I put Jennifer in. What if Zendaya gets snubbed? She's number one on our odds. I have her win.
She could. I mean, she's never been nominated here.
Yeah.
It could just be. I kind of love when the Emmys just have their own darlings, and those people don't do well anywhere else, really. So, like for a while, it was like that for Jean Smart until Hacks.
Right.
And like Regina King, she has 4 Emmys and never been nominated for a SAG award.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how do I get Jennifer Coolidge in here?
I would drop Zendaya, honestly.
I think I'm gonna drop Elizabeth.
Not incorrect.
So okay, there, done.
Way to go.
Go me. This is so riveting.
Next up, we have comedy ensemble, Joyce. My nominees are Abbott Elementary, Hacks, Only Murders in the Building, The Bear, and Wednesday.
Okay, so comedy. I have the same. Yeah, Abbott, Hacks, Only Murders, The Bear, and Wednesday.
So we both passed on Barry, which is 5th in the odds, and Mrs. Maisel, which is 6th in the odds. Went with the newer show that's one of the biggest hits in the history of the world on Netflix. And that's why I picked it.
Not going to Amazon.
Nope. Sorry.
Those headlines yesterday were incredible.
So. And I have Abbott Elementary winning. It feels like the right pick here, but I guess we'll see when we have wins. We have to do winners.
Yeah, I think Barry's just in 5th because people haven't updated. I mean, listen, I love Barry, but it's not something they love, really. No. So, this year for the first time, SNL is eligible.
Not a great SNL year, I would say.
A lot of people left.
It's true.
I do not have that getting in, obviously.
No.
So.
For TV comedy actor choice, I have Steve Martin, Martin Short, Bill Hader, Jeremy Allen White, and Tyler James Williams for Abbott Elementary. Though I really, really, really thought of Bowen Yang for SNL here.
I don't think I have any SNL.
No, I don't either.
Anywhere. Yeah, I have the same 5. Yeah, Bill, Steve, Martin, Tyler James Williams, and Jeremy Allen White. I am struggling with Tony Shalhoub. Like, what do I do with Maisel?
I'm ignoring it. So there you go.
Just nowhere.
No, I got it nowhere. I really don't. No.
They love that show. It beat Fleabag, remember?
It just feels like the time has.
It was away for a while, and it aired last winter, like early last year.
I think the window is closed for me.
Just watch Tony, Alex, and Rachel get in now.
Very easily. And I liked this last season. I thought it was actually quite good, but I just think nobody's paying attention to it anymore.
Yeah, and I'm like, of these, I can see like Bill Hader missing, honestly.
I could see Bill Hader missing too, very easily.
Even though I have him in first, but
yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if like Jeremy would win here.
I have Steve Martin winning here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's without Jason Sudeikis, who knows?
Right. Next up, Joyce, TV comedy actress. Here are my nominees: Jean Smart for Hacks, Quinta Brunson for Abbott Elementary, Cheryl Lee Ralph for Abbott Elementary, Christina Applegate for Dead to Me, and Jenna Ortega for Wednesday.
I have the same. So
apologies to Hannah Einbinder and Janelle James, both of whom are great, but not getting in.
Are all three Abbott ladies in the top 5? I just don't know if that's...
Yes, they are. Okay. And I don't think that's happening at all. But I don't think people have updated in a while.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like big enough. I don't know. Strong. I don't know what's the word, but to get 3 slots here when there are other very viable contenders. I think they've always loved Christina Applegate. And she's great in the last season of Dead to Me. And obviously, Jenna Ortega, Wednesday, huge, massive.
Huge show.
So
great performance. And truly a great performance too. I think she's great on it.
Yeah. So and then, Jean, obviously, and Quinta, and then Cheryl, just because of the Emmy. So sorry to Janelle.
Yep.
But again, I could see Rachel Brosnahan just getting in here too.
I mean, maybe. Sure.
Like they go back to their faves. Sometimes they do move on. Like they just drop This Is Us, like a cold habit. So or bad habit, I should say. But yeah.
Next up, Joyce, TV, movie, miniseries actor. I embraced chaos here as we're rounding the final turn for our SAG predictions. I have Evan Peters for Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, Paul Walter Hauser for Blackbird, Andrew Garfield for Under the Banner of Heaven, SAG favorite, Steve Carell for The Patient, and Kumail Nanjiani for Welcome to Chippendales.
Wow. That's not even a Netflix show.
No, but I think people really love him, and I think it was watched on Hulu. No bearing on this at all. I have no idea. That's my pick.
I mean, I think this is the top 5. I have Evan, Taryn, Sebastian, Andrew, and Colin for...
Yes. My outliers then are Carell. I just think Carell could easily get in. I think if they watch the show, he's a great... People love Carell. Especially actors.
Sure. I don't know. I just you're banking on FX a lot.
I'm thinking on Hulu, Joyce.
It's FX.
No, I know, but it's all on Hulu. Everybody's watching Hulu.
FX, but that brand no longer exists. It's not.
But Hulu is also one of the most popular streamers, especially for TV. I know it's not Netflix, and a lot of these I'm picking against are not Netflix shows. Sebastian Stan, Pam and Tommy, Hulu. Colin Firth for The Staircase, HBO. Taron Egerton, Blackbird, Apple.
Now, there's not a lot of Netflix options here.
Right. Monster,
you could just do Richard Jenkins, another monster. So.
It could happen. I don't see why not. But I guess we'll see.
So is Evan going to win?
Yes. Absolutely. Who else would win?
I don't know. Like, this is like... Limited is still kind of rough, just like Emmys last year.
Mhm.
So, and we don't have a Michael Keaton here, really.
No.
I mean, I guess if Evan does steamroll, you could say he's like Michael Keaton, but like he's also like Keaton was like the respected like veteran. Who's gonna be in the bathroom when their category is announced and they win?
Evan would be a good bet.
You think so?
He's a
I
little
feel like
silly.
he would be at the table.
Maybe he's a little impish, I feel like sometimes. And finally, Joyce, TV movie mini actress. The nominees for me: Amanda Seyfried for The Dropout, Lily James from Pam and Tommy, Julia Garner Inventing Anna, Jessica Chastain for George and Tammy, and Claire Danes for Fleischman is in Trouble.
Just FX and Hulu.
Niecy Nash Betts is who I left off here. She was the obvious pick for the Netflix show Dahmer, and she's fourth in our odds.
I have Amanda, Lily, Julia, Niecy, and Jessica. So is that the top 5?
It is. I put Claire Danes in because, like we said,
because you're just in the tank for Fleischman.
love the show, great show, but also I think if anybody watched it, they would be like, Claire Danes rules. And I just feel like there's an affinity again at SAG for Claire Danes.
Okay.
That's it. That's what I got.
Based on what?
Temple Grandin.
Okay, not Homeland.
No, Temple Grandin.
Sure. A Homeland, the first season, I think it was blank here, I think. So
I just think she can get in. I think we'll see a Claire Danes renaissance here in the next week for Fleischman.
It was very funny when she got those Globe and Critics' Choice nominations, and like airing wise, her episode hadn't dropped yet.
Right.
So the people didn't understand why she was getting in, because she's not really heavily featured in the first 6 episodes.
Right.
So but no, she's very good in the penultimate episode.
Great actress, great performance, great show. That's it, Joyce. Those are our SAG Award predictions. I feel great about these.
What are you gonna change?
All of it? No, I'm just gonna go down. I like going down with the ship and just being like expert who got 58%, and everybody can be like reading it and being like, what an idiot. How does he still even get to do this?
I like being wrong, because I feel like I don't want to get everything wrong, but I feel like you should prove me wrong, right?
I mean, that basically
you should surprise me, because if it's just what I predicted, then I'm just like, okay, well, that was predictable.
To me, I just feel like, like 4 of these are there's always gonna be 4 that everybody gets, and then the 5th one is either the obvious pick or maybe like a weird outlier. I'm going with
I want weird picks.
Yeah.
I don't know who that would be. Like in all of these, I was just trying to find, you know what, maybe I'll just do Richard Jenkins for my other. Maybe I'll just go all in on Monster.
Let's go. Netflix, baby. Let's do it.
Who should I drop?
I don't know. Colin Firth, probably. No one's talking about that show. Doesn't even exist.
I don't know who. I can also, I mean, I'll drop Taryn. I don't know.
I could see him getting out. I think that Paul Walter Hauser is obviously the showier performance. So,
and they both have to be in this category.
Right. And I don't think the show is embraced enough to support 2 guys. That's why I picked Paul.
Okay. Where's Richard? 100 to 1. Richard Jenkins. Okay.
Let's do it.
There we go.
Joyce, this is so much fun. So we'll be back on next week.
There's so much going on.
I guess we'll be back. We said on.
Well, the problem is that the Globe ceremony and SAG nominations are like less than 12 hours apart, basically. Right. I mean, we don't know what time the SAG nominations will be announced as of Wednesday afternoon, early afternoon. But they're usually around like 10 a.m. Eastern.
Right. So we'll be back, I guess, next week after the Globes and the SAG Award nominations to do both Globe reaction and SAG Award nominations. Is that right?
Yes.
Great. I can't wait.
I think that's easiest.
Yeah, I think that'll be great for our loyal audience to do. And
you don't need to switch episodes.
No. Just we didn't do any emails, but if you want to email about anything, slugfest@goldderby.com is how you email.
Send us your Gossip Girl questions. Season
Please.
2.
Please send us your Gossip Girl. That's it, Joyce. We'll talk next week. Bye.